It's the new internet. And guess what? It's tokenized. And guess what? It's a globally homogenous asset class that's fractionalizable and available to anybody on the planet. This is the most powerful. We're giving a global utility and saying you can all share in it. And it's a race to buy as much as you can as early as you can. People don't get this. They all think
No.
crypto's a scam. They don't get that we're basically giving everybody a chance to own the entire rails of the future.
Yeah.
In this interview with Blockworks Macro and Raoul, we explore the impending technological revolution driven by AI and its impact on the global economy, the unprecedented crypto wealth creation opportunity as the market heads toward a potential $100 trillion valuation, and the shifting geopolitical landscape influencing markets worldwide. Bitcoin is trading at $95,000 with recent market changes reflecting increased volatility. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest in crypto and blockchain technology.
Yeah, in kind of everything. There's two regime shifts. One is this secular trend, this exponential age of technology that people are starting to get. They still barely get it. And then we've just had this political shift, which is like an accelerant in the middle of that. And these are, this is a very, very important 4 years. So if we think about at the very top level, if we think about the entire political system has basically been that battle between labor and capital, the workers and the owners, right? That's really, it's always been, and that balance always keeps shifting around depending where the national psyche is. But what happened this election was it was run on those grounds, but it was not won on those grounds. The people who won the White House, it's not Donald Trump. He's a one-time president. What actually happened is the new political battle of our lifetimes, maybe the defining political battle of all time, which is the battle of the humanists and the transhumanists. So before I get into that, what's happened is the technologists, the accelerationists have taken the White House. I mean, at every level. JD Vance was one of them. Vivek's one of them. Elon Musk is literally the king of all of them. He saw the bet. He backed the entire thing, pushed it through. Look at the largest PACs. It's the super PAC formed by Brian Armstrong and A16Z. That was the crypto PAC. The whole battle here is all about the one of technology. So what we will find is they've redefined the entire political landscape forever, probably, away from capital and labor to this new thing of who wants the technology and who doesn't. Now, the issue is here is in the future, there will be no labor. So it can't be a battle between capital and labor because the labor is the AI and the robots. The battle is going to be how fast we want to accept this technological change. But if you realize how fast this is all happening, how fast AI is developing, we will be at AGI by the time the presidency changes. We will have gone to Mars by the time the presidency changes. We will have one man owning the largest private communications network in the world by the time this finishes. We will have crypto adopted in the financial system. So this is why the super PAC has raised another 110 billion for the midterms. This is their one shot at a free run of completely changing the course of history. So it's not about politics. It's not about woke versus this and all the things we think it is. This is going to be the fastest pace of change in a 4-year period I think humanity's ever lived through. So we've got three major flashpoints: the Middle East, Russia, and China, Taiwan. And we're all kind of expecting maybe something. I thought something will happen in the Middle East because MBS had kind of been elevating himself as the power broker, making friends with the Israelis, and then speaking to the Iranians. I'm like, yeah, something's happening here. Then Hamas saw what was happening, and it had one choice before peace broke out, which was like, we need to force the Israelis to go to war. And so that's been happening, and Israel is dealing with that now. Trump has always said that this is an issue that will be resolved, and basically Israel gets a chance to clean up. There'll be some sort of support for the area. They've already said they've finished the business right now with Hezbollah, and hopefully we get to a period of peace with the Israelis, the Saudis, and the Iranians tacitly kind of agreeing. That tit for tat, you could see that there was some agreement, which is don't over-escalate this. Okay, so that's that one, fine. Russia, Ukraine, the Biden administration nuked the last peace effort, and Trump is basically like, I'm not going to tolerate this. You guys, I mean, Ukraine's been fought over for centuries. It's like, you're just going to have to give up ground and split the country and get on with it. And I think they're both accepting that. So they've kind of gone to the table. But I'll come back to that because that got started actually also by the Biden administration. So we had a global macro investor roundtable. That's my kind of main kind of premier research service. And it was in, where were we? Marrakesh. And we're all sitting around chatting, and people were presenting negative China trades, the typical macro trade, China's going to blow up. And then we had David Masson, who works with me on GMI and the Exponentialist, talk about Taiwan Semi and how it's a good trade. And we were all just kind of kicking these ideas around, and it suddenly came at a conversation. It's like, oh, we're missing the whole picture. And the whole picture was Gavin Newsom, the shiny-faced, straight out of a box, non-geopolitical threat, turns up in Beijing, right? He's the governor of California and gets an audience with Xi. Xi and the US at the time were like clashing heads. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. It's fine if he met the governor of some province, but Xi, he is a messenger and he's coming with something. The press kind of, I think, were asked to not say too much, and it kind of got brushed under the carpet. Gavin Newsom does trip to China, blah, blah, blah. Next minute, Gavin's like, come back to my place, Xi. And he comes back to California, doesn't go to the United Nations, doesn't go to DC. He goes to California, meets the tech leaders, and goes back. And I thought about this for a while. I'm thinking, that's the most bizarre thing. And I thought, you know what? I think they've done a deal on Taiwan. That's the only reason Xi would meet him and the only reason he goes to the US. The one thing that was important enough for him to drop everything and drop the rhetoric with the US is Taiwan. And then I dug in and realized that Taiwan Semi has built 3 plants in Arizona, 1 in Germany and 1 in Japan. So we've taken the Taiwan Semi threat because Taiwan Semi is existential for all of AI. And the game theory suggests that it's too big an issue for anybody to go to war over Taiwan. Because if the Chinese invade first, we destroy Taiwan Semi, we've lost all of that technology. If the US does anything, China will try and invade. There's no way Taiwan Semi is unscathed in this, and everybody suffers. So the US is like, we will build, you buy time, you can have Taiwan on your terms. But we're going to do this. So the first thing Xi did when he went back to China, he went almost the following week to Europe. Like kind of instant Europe trip. And he met with Macron only. And he basically, I think, said, we need you to approve this. And the Europeans said, yeah, but. And they said, what's the but? It's like Russia. Xi goes back. The first person to arrive in Beijing on an instant trip, Putin. The next minute, Putin 2 days later leaves, and there's the announcement by AP that Russia wants to find a solution to Ukraine and we'll think about a ceasefire. Next minute, Janet Yellen turns up twice in Beijing. Janet Yellen, twice. And she's gone there and said, listen, okay, let's try and help each other out here. We've got economic growth problems. We've got debt problems. You need a weaker dollar. We need you to buy our treasuries. We need to get our old economy back, And so there's been, the whole thing feels like there's been a de-risking. So if I'm right that the world has de-risked and we've got a technological revolution that's accelerating and the Fed have taken the entire left tail risk out of the credit cycle, this is going to be the greatest 4-8 years of our lifetimes in terms of the ability to make money. So it's like staggering. And I know it sounds like hopium, but I've been following this and writing about it in GMI, and every single thing has proven to be true so far.
As discussed by Raoul Pal, let's explore the technological revolution propelled by AI and how it's set to transform economies, the unprecedented crypto wealth creation opportunity in the next few years, and the impact of shifting geopolitical dynamics on global markets.
In a world of AI, we can prove we're humans. You know, we've been talking on X, there's a bunch of people talking about KYC, AML compliance, right? That's really should just be a once a year thing with a zero knowledge token. And I just pass it to every, and it just does it instantaneously. Well, we don't, because it employs millions of fucking accountants, administrative firms, and all of this stuff. It's madness. So all of this can change. Then obviously in a digital world, everything digitalized goes to zero in value or cost almost instantaneously. We've seen it with everything. But what blockchain does is create digital scarcity. Okay, that's a profound topic, which is why it's be able to create Bitcoin, but also it allows you to have smart contracts of any contract and all of this. So it's the efficiency layer as the internet scales that we have to reorganize around what we call Web3 now. And it, you know, people think it's all to do with crypto prices, token price, nothing to do with that. It's just an internet for the future because we're living more and more digitally. You know, we have digital goods now, things we didn't have 20 years ago. Now, so this becomes very important. Instantaneous contracts and everybody's around the world. I mean, 20 years ago, you and I couldn't do this. We'll be on a phone with each other, right? It's happening so fast. So crypto is that, but it's also the efficient rails for the financial system, just at simple level. An equity that is tokenized is instantaneously settled, globally available. You know, if you think of the US wants people to access its capital markets, well, this is the way. Look at bloody stable coins. That's global fractionalizable euro-dollar market. You know, one of the largest markets the world's ever seen. This is now getting bigger because of this. So that's the reworking of the financial system. But then there's another superpower within that you and I are part of, is the rejection of the institutions and trust in the institution of finance, the middlemen, the intermediary, the gatekeeper, and the complete explosion that started from Occupy Wall Street and then went warp factor 10, GameStop, the crypto stuff in 2020, and looks like it's going to go warp factor 10 squared this time around, is self-directed investing, right? It's a big deal. And what we're doing is we're using the internet to organize hive mind, which is you get all of the voices coming together and then you somehow filter the noises to look for the signal. Now, that'll all happen with AI. This is what we're doing at Real Vision, exactly this. This is the mega trend, and we're helping to make sense of the noise, you and I, and we're trying to deliver it back to people and say, listen, here's how I'm making sense of the noise. What do you think about that? That mega trend is the driver of the token price side. The token is really what we've got. If we think we got poor last time because of Facebook and Google, we now actually own the rails.
To watch the full interview, check the link in the description. Raoul Pal provides invaluable insights into the future of technology, economics, and crypto markets. We would love to hear your thoughts on some questions. Do you believe that AI and technology will reshape the global economy in the next decade? How are you positioning yourself for the potential crypto boom? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends to keep up with the latest trends in crypto and technology.